Hey people, Shaman Hawk here for Shamanic Lodge. So I woke up early this morning, reading through some emails, and just when I think I've heard it all, sometimes I read something, it's like, wow. So the email this morning was about videos that I've made in the past. I talk about, the government or the handlers have their own shamans kind of on the dark side that they can do some of the same things I do, except for they're better funded, they have better resources, they have all kinds of legal immunities and so on, and they enjoy a good life, they really do. And people say, well, they couldn't be real shamans. Why would they go on to that side? Why would they be against humanity, against nature, and so on? Let me use farming here as a metaphor. So I take care of a bunch of horses, chickens, ducks, and so on. But let's go with the horses because they got more power. Well, and the chickens and ducks too. Let me get to that because these animals spend most of their energy, their waking time, fighting over the biggest pile of food, access to the food, the most comfortable place to sit, find the best shade, and, sexual rights. That's it. And people say, well, they're just animals. People pretty much do this exact same thing. And you want to go ahead, like domesticating animals and domesticating people aren't much different. You confine them, you make them feel comfortable and secure, you try to get them to do little tricks and shit, and that's about as far as it goes. And you're going to have some of the animals that kind of sit back and watch, and they get to communicate with you more, but they help you control the other animals, right? So, but the truth is, with especially the horses, they could push through just about any area in the fence. We have some with just made with steel bars because it used to be an arena for roping and stuff. But the rest of it, they could push right through. They could just mow me over, and the rest of the people wouldn't find me for a couple days. Laying in a pile of horse shit covered in flies and fire ants. But they could do that in an instant, and I control them by food, water, and one tiny wire that goes along the top of the fence that has electricity going through it with a pulse. And so the smaller horses will see the big horse that tries to lean over and get food on the other side of the fence, and he's shocked and people and the rest of the horses like, oh, okay, we can't go too close to the fence. Kind of like that whole staged January 6th insurrection thing, right? Don't push the fence. Those the big horses will get shocked. You'll get shocked too. With the ducks, they're in an open pen. Clip their wings once. The feathers grow back, but they don't have a top over top of their fenced in area. So that one time they tried to fly and they couldn't, they just stopped trying. People do the exact same thing, just waiting around, waiting for something to be given to them so they can go continue to fight over the same food, shady place, water, sexual rights. And that's it. So I have friends and who used to be colleagues and so on that, other shamans that signed on to what we call the dark side, and they're like, hey man, when you get when you get tired of the farm, whether I'm living on a farm or not, we call the human experiment the farm. They're like, when you get tired of the farm, come on over. Get you some surgery that you need. We get you all fixed up. But here I am, and others like me, still trying to do human pet tricks. That's what it really comes down to. And you look at it, you try to get people to see things. But what happened is that people would just go a little bit further just so they can dominate the pen or stable or pasture that they're in and make things a little bit more comfortable and then stop. I have people all the time writing me about shamanic apprenticeships. and I give them one simple exercise to practice, and say, call me when you get this done. I don't hear from anybody. It's what the easiest thing to do. This shows you everything's public knowledge. It shows you you have the power to see things that you normally wouldn't see. It's just a gateway opens right up. And I give these exercises to people to prove to themselves so they can prove it to themselves that all this is real. Nope. They open the door a little bit, go, oh, no, that means I have to take responsibility for my life. So people say, well, how can these other shamans just sign on? Because they get tired of this. And that's it. It just gets futile. I mean, I've been working in shamanism full time since 1978. And the shamans on the light side, the ones that aren't interested in just being rich and all that, end up spending a lot of energy just trying to get by, um, traveling around group after group. But basically, you take people to maybe midway or to the top of level one and they stop. They want to go out and become teachers. But most of the time, they just want to complain about capitalism, the greed, the bankers, and whatever. When the truth is, just like the horses here, they could instantly push over the fence. It would be so easy for 1/10 of the population of any industrial country could just immediately change. Iceland did it, rewrote their constitution online, fired their government, put bankers in jail, and yeah, it's expensive to live there, but they like it. They take care of themselves. We could do the same thing all over the world. It would be so easy. So these other shamans get tired of just, swimming against the tide. As you get older, you can't do as much. And they're just like, okay, put me in, I'll play. And life gets good. People are like, well, what about the karma? Yeah, what about that? I mean, let's look at, okay, so Stephen Colbert pushed hard for the vax, humiliated people, got COVID again a couple times in 2 weeks. Fauci, same thing. You know, the rest of them. Yeah, but these people that are in that control, they look around at the human farm and go, why wouldn't I do this? Why wouldn't I manipulate them? Why wouldn't I take the money? Why wouldn't I do that? What karma? When you start weighing it out, they're ahead of the game. You know, well, maybe next life. What proof do you have of that? No one does. You see, so this is why. So then people say, well, why haven't you gone over? Well, I don't know. Maybe I'm not that smart or whatever. But there's a part of me, and it may be totally idealistic romanticism, thinking that there's a chance, that people will actually push against the fence and get, because this is so easy. It really is easy to change the world almost overnight. Like I keep saying, we have all the resources. We all have all the personal power, and we outweigh the dark side. I mean, 1,000,000 to 1. But no, but that's why it gets easier. They enjoy life, So, and they can make the bankers' agenda, the globalist, the elitist agenda, happen smoother, happen faster. So it's like you're on different sides, and your job description is to win. But you're, like on my side, we're battling uh, antagonists. I don't want to call them enemies. We're battling antagonists that are better funded, better resourced, just better equipped all the way around. A better intelligence service. Um, and people say, well, at least you have your better connection with the earth. Yeah, like the horses do, like the ducks and chickens do, right? You know. So people, when you look at this stuff that's happening in the world, and you're looking for that kind of leadership, and you're looking for that spiritual leadership, you're looking for that guidance, you have to really, if you really want to change, you have to be willing to go through the whole process 110%. If you're not willing to do that, just like I said, shut up. You're just wasting air. You know, do I see things getting better in the future? Probably not. Do I see people? Now here's a duality about it. Do I see things getting better in the future? Not anytime soon. I think it could get a lot worse before it gets any better. But do I see people getting more quality information coming to them in dreams, visions, and revelation? Yes, absolutely. More than I've ever seen. Well, then why won't it get better? Because inaction, apathy, and inaction. And that's it. People just don't care. They're like, well, I'm comfortable. Fuck it. And they don't do anything about anything. And so, therefore, you know, things just keep going along. So when they're talking about this World Economic Forum and the Great Reset and all that, and you'll own nothing and be happy. They keep testing people with this stuff just to see how they react. And people, react the same way. Oh, okay. Well, it's amazing. It really is. So I hope that kind of explained things. It's a it's a business decision, I guess you could look. If you're at one job and you really love your job, but the job just doesn't treat you well, your efforts are going nowhere, and finally this other company, this kind of maybe a shit company that screws everything up, just goes, "Hey, are you tired yet? We're going to offer you a lot of money, a lot of comfortable positions, and whatever." And you know, it, their advantage for that is to just, I won't be a thorn in their side anymore, or anybody else that's on this side of shamanism. We won't be that obstacle that that our colleagues or our counterparts have to go, damn, I didn't see that, they got me, and they have to go apologize to their boss. Yeah, this happened. um I don't know what else to say about it, man. Leave a comment, and yeah, I'll get back on it. Catch you guys later.